So the next big build project. Our customer Daniel brought us this Cherokee. It's a bone stock, clean. I think it's I don't even know what model it is. Shoot. It is a 01. And we're fixing to tear it all in pieces. And it's getting full Ruffstuff Unibody Stiffeners. Ruffstuff their new 3-link kit with cross member and skid plates. It's getting new Ruffstuff spring boxes, new rear springs, 6 inches of lift, 35s, axle swap, fender flares, and the list goes on, bumpers, winch, all this. So we fixing to tear this thing apart and get started because we're ready to see what this thing looks like. It's not every day you get to build a full build on an XJ, so, and that's where we started at, was with XJs. Excited about this one to get it going.
All the goods.
We're getting some stuff knocked out on it. We got both bumpers took off. All the fender flares is off. The rear shocks is off. And actually all of the bolts come out of the top. And that is very rare. Because these is actually a little rusty, and that's the only, there's not a whole lot of, there's no rust on this thing. Right now we're waiting on parts for another job, so I can't tear down but so much on this rack. So I'm just trying to tear apart and do away with what I can until we get the parts in for the other job and get it done, and then we'll move racks to do this. But I'm gonna try to get the fenders, flares cut out and put on. And I know I can do the rear bumper, and then the front bumper I have to wait after I do unibody stiffeners and all, but we'll do what we can while we can, so just getting started on it. Yeah, I fixed to cut some fenders because the customer wants these supposedly like cut out fender flares. Put these on, man, it's been a long time. Painted. That's the rear shackle hangers for the front of the rear springs. The cross member painted. We just painted it on the top side for now. Everything's gonna go up to the top. Getting the shackles painted on the back. We've actually got the rear shackle relocation brackets in, bolted in, welded in. These are all Ruffstuff brackets, and they don't even require you to weld the rear end. It bolts in so much, but I did weld some little streaks, spot welds kind of up in there and all, but it bolts 4 bolts, or 2 bolts here. There's 2 bolts in there, and there's 2 bolts that go up through the floorboard with plates inside the floorboard where you take the carpet out, and then they bolt to the bottom of the unibody just like hitch would on each side. Same thing on this side. This one's done too, all bolted, welded. Gives you 4 adjustable holes so you can stretch your XJ a little bit. So this one gives you 4 holes, but it don't give you lift. So it stays up. You cut the factory pockets out, and these go back into place of them. Gives you a gap to put your nut up in there. Pretty neat little setup. Gets reinforced. I ain't got the bolts all on this side because I gotta put the heat shield back up, but it bolts in just like that. And on this one, we actually had reinforcements that went inside. We had to cut the back of the frame out, and I didn't get a lot of nothing on that, but they go up in the side and put these nut plates in there, reinforced. They got plates and it bolts through where the factory does, so you get a reinforcement there. So it's all reinforced in the back. And then this is the bumper our customer built. It's one of them weld together kits off of eBay. It turned out pretty good. Looks good. He coated it, so we put it on for him when we bolted all this together. So that's that. That's the rear spring boxes. Like I said, them have 4 holes in them, and we're working on these next. They bolt in. Like I say, they actually have 5 holes in them, so you have adjustability. Ruffstuff makes some very good stuff. This is their 3-link kit, as we've sold you before. And we still got all this frame plating to put on. Their full Ruffstuff Unibody Stiffener kit. And all this stuff, which is part of 3-link rear springs, front bumper, some sliders. So, moving along. So after we got the back finished, the bumper on it and all, yesterday, we're starting on these today, which I done got them took off. You're gonna mess up the unibody a little bit. I gotta weld this back because it's all spot welded, and you can drill them out. I would try to drill them out different ways, sand them down, and you still gonna tear into it a little bit. So I'll just weld that back up, grind it down. I'll show you that. There's a bolt here in each side that you gotta take the carpet up and get to it. It's got body like sealer in it, so you gotta dig that out. It's a Torx bit. I think it's a 40 Torx. It comes out, and then you gotta knock the nut off and grind all that flat once I cut all that spring box out. So we're gonna get to welding this up, grind that down, and then we'll be ready to fit the boxes, and that's where we're headed. So we come along on the Cherokee build, getting there. Everything in the back is done. Well, pretty much done. I don't like much on here other than changing the U-bolt plate bolts out and putting the exhaust back on it. And we got to change shock mounts. Shock mounts wouldn't work. The original owner had this rear end, had the shocks up through the body, and then he had some other on the back, so we got to cut these off the back. I ordered Barnes shock mounts to go on, so we got them. They come in. So other than that, the back's pretty much done. We got the SYE kit in. We can show you that. SYE kit is in now. Drive chassis in. Had to change the yokes back here because somebody messed up the holes. All that's done. Got the skid plate, Ruffstuff skid plate under it. The long arms is in place. I still got to tidy up the fuel lines and all back to the frame once I get. We got another section of stiffener to put on here, but I've got to get it on its weight and change racks so we can weld this piece on because my lift arms is in the way. The front is all the stiffener is on the side, the bottom, both sides painted up. I got this Ruffstuff steering box plate on. All that's back tight. You got to use new bolts. You will if you use, especially doing the plate, the Unibody stiffeners and the plate inside. You do have to have new bolts that they don't send. That need to be longer. I had to get some bolts. All that's back on. Got the shocks in place, brake lines in place, and like I said, the control arm is ready. Got the front end in here. We're going to, I got to drill out, fixing to drill out the pitman arm because this one does have heim joints in the steering. I got to drill that out, put the track bar bracket on it, and we'll be ready to put the front end in it. And hopefully put some tires on it and put it on its own weight. And then it's just finishing up everything else. But we moving along. We got the bumper to put on the front. It's ready to go on. We got to try to get it stuck on the winch. Still got quite a bit to do, but it is coming along, and we ain't videoed a whole lot because this is kind of boring to everybody. All the grinding and welding and grinding again to get all this, but it's on and done. So, and welding to a unibody, if anybody's done it, it sucks. It's kind of like galvanized in the metal, and it don't matter how good you clean it, it'll weld good for a while, and then it don't weld good. And no matter what welder you got, how good you clean it, what you clean it with, it just is what it is. But it's on and it ain't coming off. I like punkin. Punk getting wild. There's still a lot to do, but it's a lot closer. We've done a couple things that we hadn't videoed just because it's, I don't know, just because some of it's boring to me. We did get the rear shock brackets. We cut the ones off that was on the back side because they wasn't gonna work. So we done stem eliminator, or not stem eliminator, we done bar pin eliminators at the top from Rough Country on it. These are Barnes weld-on shock brackets. They are a little shorter than the factory ones are, but they're built like the factory ones that would have come on originally that didn't have. So we got shock brackets on it. Shocks is all in place. We finished the U-bolt plates once we got our bolts in. So all that stuff's kind of a little boring for watching. So we got all that done, and we got the plates for the skid plate here. We talked about originally, it's got braces that go up and they go to the floorboard. We didn't film that because that was just, we had to, you got to pull the carpet back and you drill a hole on each side in the floor pan and put, they come with 3/8 bolts, and I drilled the holes out, I put half-inch bolts in it so I could put bigger washers in the floor pan. But all that's done. I think the only thing we hadn't covered before now, we're down to doing the fun part again of putting the rest of the unibody stiffeners on it. And we're cutting out around this plate, and then all that'll be all welded together. So we got the front section fit. I got it cut. Fixing to start grinding so we can weld it in. And we'll weld it together here to it'll weld to the unibody plus the long arm kit. And then we got to fit the back. So I cut this in two because we got to had to fit the front around that, and then the back with these on it. You got to cut. It's gonna have to be some cut out too. Get it turned the right way, because it'll start back somewhere here, and we got to trim some of that for where we put them pieces in. So getting all that fitted up, and then we got rock sliders to put on after we get that done. This was an axle out of something out of another Cherokee, so we've already redone the track bar. I don't think we got a lot of that, but the steering drag link is too long. They'd already run it all the way together, so, and we don't know what lift was on it or nothing on the other one, or what pitman arm they had. So, but now the track bar and the steering bar is at the same angle. It'll all work. So I'm gonna take this and figure out whichever one I got a bung for, which I should have a bung for either end. Take it off. We're gonna cut it down, make it where it's got adjustment in it, so we can straighten the steering wheel. Because see, now the tire is pretty straight, but the pitman arm's turned, which that has the steering wheel out of kilter. So we'll take that down, straighten the steering wheel, and then I'll build that to length where we got some adjustability. But we're getting down to it. So, and then we got to wire the e-locker. I actually got a list. I need to tell you. Finally got down to the short list. So we made a list. So yeah, we got tie rod bar, wire locker, the frame stiffener, and the rock slider I was talking about. And I got I don't like the way the front sets. I've got the back as low as we can get it right now, and it's a little too low for my liking. So I got some spacers coming to put in the front, and some bump stops, because he didn't have no kind of bump stops in it. So we're gonna put bump stops in the front and bleed the front brakes. So our list is getting a lot shorter. So keep on working on it, and we'll get it done and show you what it does on the ramp and all when we get done with it. Yeah. Just about forgot something that's pretty important. Anytime you're welding on a vehicle, always unhook your battery. This one I've just got them set on there so it don't take much to unhook. Because anytime, especially ground to the frame, something, your vehicle's got grounds on the frame, and when you ground to the frame and weld, it could always run back through and mess up something electrical, especially in the newer stuff. So that's just a little tidbit I've always heard and learned, and it's always worked. Just unhook the battery while you're welding. Make sure you gotta turn the welder on, or it will not weld. Guaranteed. That one's in place at least. So we're down to the final stages, whatever you call it.
Steps. The final steps.
I got the rock slide. I painted the top of them.
Oh, yeah.
Scuffed them clean. I painted the top because I knew once I got them on I couldn't paint them. Got them painted. This one is marked or set in place at the height and everything we want it. These come, and I'm guessing it's something the customer bought, and I'm guessing it's either, by the measurements of them, you could probably either cut the rocker panel out and mount them in the rocker because of the width and all they are, or you got to make legs for them because they didn't come with the legs on them, which some of them I guess don't put legs on too, so you can mount them however you want them. So these is getting mounted right here where they're at. I'm fixing to measure, and since we got the unibody stiffeners all done now, we can just cut some pieces of tubing. I'm gonna measure lengths, and we're gonna do 4 pieces of tubing. Everywhere this is connected, there'll be a piece of tubing going straight back to the unibody, for which now it's kind of like a frame since it's got so much plating on it. But take some roll bar tubing and just cut it. Should be able to hopefully cut it flat, weld it to the back side of the slider, and weld it to the unibody stiffener, and should be good to go. So we're down to getting them done, and got to wire up the front locker, and everything else has been done. We got the alignment done on it. All the bolts is tight. Everything's marked with paint like we mark them. So she's about ready to try her out on the ramp and get it going back to the customer. So we're looking forward to it. So we got the Jeep build wrapped up on the XJ. We got all the E-locker wiring running around. Got the relay fuse all mounted here. Circuit breaker. Everything's tied in. Nice and neat. Got all that done. Got his switch mounted inside. Put it down here out of the way. It's one of the lockable. It actually comes with the E-locker. So you got to push down on it, push it in. Lights up when it's locked. All that's clean, neat, out of the way. Winch controller, all that works. We done tried it all out. Drove it. Flex ramp tested. We insert some photos, and all good to go back to the customer. He's done come approved it and ready to go. So as always, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate y'all watching.